Hi, my name is Einar Tangen. I'm a partner founder of the Center for China and the World. Today we are honored to have the actual founder, Charles Liu, famous for all of the incredible work that he has done on television. You know, I was a lawyer, a politician, investment banker, real estate developer, and I had a lot of different companies. Now, you had the law.
I had the law part.
UN.
I had the investment banking side.
Yeah, and investment banking, and then a fund.
And private equity, which is much worse than all the rest.
Okay. All right, Ian, it's time to confess. Introduce yourself and tell us why you should be here.
So the first thing, I think this is about the world, and I was born in Hong Kong, did my kindergarten in Australia, did my primary school in Hong Kong, did my high school in England, and did my university in the States.
So we're going to go on to what is China, the Center for China and the World. All right, it was the dream child of
well,
Charles.
Actually, what it really came down to China and the world is China has been incredibly successful for the last 40 years. The number that we all like to look at is 38 years ago, China's GDP per capita is the same as India's.
Yep.
Today, China is 5 times that of India.
Yep.
So it must have done something right.
To get
Now,
there.
what did it do right is what we would like to promote.
Yeah, and it's really telling the China story.
Yeah.
And you know, it's a shame that China has to prove it's right given the facts. I mean, the fact is, it's not just about India. It's China went from nothing. It had no resources, no foreign reserves, right? It had no infrastructure, financial or otherwise. The base infrastructure was very poor, and from 45 years ago, literally starting at ground zero, China is now the second largest economic things. But that, instead of phrasing it that we need to tell China how this happened, people need to look at the opposite. And they have to say, look, China has accomplished this. They've eradicated extreme poverty. They've been able to raise their nation at the same time as extend it. I mean, the Belt and Road Initiative, all of these things, right?
And build the most incredible infrastructure that is the most advanced in the world, and the supply chain as well.
Can you imagine what would be happening right now if China had not built all this extra infrastructure for logistics around the world? The Red Sea and what's happening there and what is happening in Ukraine would have crippled the world without China having set up all of these additional ports, roads, networks. I mean,
and the railway that goes to Europe from China, that's running right now.
The Eurasia Railroad.
Railway Express,
I think it shaved off at least 3 or 4% of inflation in the States in the 2000s at least. Like that was before the whole thing.
I mean, but here's the irony. Here, you know, U.S. companies said, "Look, we are going to go abroad. Why? Because if we don't find cheaper places to manufacture, all right, we will be in a situation where the Europeans will eat our lunch." So they sent production over to China. At the same time, they made 2/3 of the world's profits. Guess where it went? 2/3 of the world's profit went to Europe and America.
S&P 500. So in the 1860s, they kidnapped Chinese kids to build railroads in the U.S. They can't do that anymore, so now they have to build the factories in China. So it's one way or the other, right?
Well, I think that's payback.
Payback time,
But I mean, people forget just when these companies came in, they didn't come in like U.S. companies, oh, we're concerned about the labor conditions, the ecology really matters. Many of these companies just rode roughshod over the ecological things. They were happy to use the lowest paid labor they could. They were only fixated on their own bottom line.
If you come back to that, I don't remember the exact number. Premier Zhou Enlai said, it took us 100 million T-shirts to buy a Boeing plane.
Yes.
That's hard work.
That is hard work,
To exchange for a Boeing plane.
I know, but you know, okay, I always loved this example because I used to do a lot of work in Italy. So a T-shirt that cost $1 US to make in China would be shipped all right, and stamped with a logo from a famous Italian brand. I won't say which one, because they were all doing it.
Yeah. You can't specify.
And they would literally ship all these T-shirts to Italy. And then from Italy, it would be shipped back to China. And that $1 T-shirt would be sold for $100. And I mean, we're not talking about a really complex, it was just a basic T-shirt with the logo on it. And you know,
that's a brand value.
Well, no, it was a value. I mean, no one complained about it. People didn't say, "Oh, this is unfair" or anything. And Chinese market bought it, right? So
not anymore.
Well, not anymore. I mean, now, China is quickly becoming the center of luxury goods. Why? Because they have climbed the value chain. I was in the furniture and design business, and you know, initially we were going to Italy, France, all these places, and then we were discovering the more we knew, actually a lot of the stuff wasn't made in Italy. It was made in Turkey or Spain or somewhere else, and then it was finished in Italy and then exported as made in Italy.
There's another interesting thing that's going on. I don't know if you noticed that Chinese brands are becoming dominant brands, not only in China, but it's being exported.
Well, but that's